Well, welcome, everybody. This is the May Raw Chat with a wonderful human being who's going to share some fabulous wisdom with us about how to ramp up our well-being. Now, for most of us, this last year and a year and a half has been a huge challenge around staying healthy physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, relationally, right? And I think we're all excited about being reminded, inspired, and learning new ways to upgrade our well-being and being able to go through the day in the zone, effective, focused, producing great results, and then at the end of the day have peace of mind, a sense of fulfillment, and still have the energy and vitality to do all the things we want to do at the end of the day and on the weekends, other than just collapse on the sofa and surf TV or pop too many beers or chocolates, the chocolate thing I do every now and then. I'm trying to break that habit. So super excited to introduce you to Cherie Clark-Moore. Cherie is the owner and instructor, the head instructor at Body and Brain Yoga Tai-Chi in Conroe, just north of Houston. I'm a big fan of Body and Brain Yoga. I've been doing it for several years, and I can say for sure it's really helped me upgrade my physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual well-being. Cherie guides people to uncover and resolve the root causes of many obstacles holding them back in their lives, whether they're physical, emotional, or just finding purpose. She believes nothing is more valuable than your self-development, right on, happiness, yes, and contribution in this life. Welcome, Cherie. So glad to have you.
Thank you so much, Sandy. It's really exciting to be on your program today.
Yeah, well, I'm sure people are going to love this. We're just going to have a sort of back and forth Q&A for about 20 minutes and try pack in as much inspiration, as many ideas and tools, especially practical ideas that people can take away and use surreptitiously in 3 or 5 or 10 minutes in the middle of the day when they feel their energy tanking. So let me dive right in.
Mm-hmm.
So well-being, it's almost become cliched because we talk about it so much, we read about it so much, there's so much information, there's so many aspects of physical, mental health, how to be happy, how to feel fulfilled, how to reduce your stress, how to relax. I mean, we're just bombarded, and it can be confusing and overwhelming, especially to know where to start, or maybe not even where to start, but what's the next level. So
Mm.
the question here is it possible to manage your well-being in a super simple way?
Yeah, absolutely, Sandy. I totally agree with what you're saying. All the information that's thrown at us, whether it's from nutrition to exercise to sleeping well to looking after your mind to moving your body, it never ends. And it can feel totally daunting to kind of start even, well, where do I start? Where do I put those in orders of priority? And then for a lot of us who, we all have very busy lives, right? It feels like just adding one more thing on top. And then it becomes like a big burden or a big challenge, even to take the first step. So this is why it really is important to find something that can just ease into your existing routine rather than adding something else that feels kind of like a really big commitment of time or energy. So yes, is the short answer. You can manage your well-being in short periods of time throughout the day. But the key to doing that is really becoming aware of your current condition. So in our practice, Sandy, and I know you've already had experience with this, but one of the first steps that we help people with here when they come to Body and Brain is we call it sensitizing. So sensitizing is connecting again to the feeling in your body. If you think about your day, your average day, we wake up, straight into our mind come all the million things we have to do. And then we just hit the ground running and keep going, keep going, keep going until we get home, and then fall asleep. This is kind of how most people live their life, right? Me too, sometimes, absolutely. But in there, we have become totally disconnected from our bodies. We're using this thing so much, our thinking brain, that we have lost touch with what's really going on inside. And our body is like our best tool to understand our current condition. It communicates with us constantly. So I believe that managing your well-being starts with building back that communication, building back that relationship actually with your body. And it's not about what I feed it necessarily or how I move it, but what do I notice inside? What signals does my body give me to start guiding me in the right direction for my well-being, rather than just relying on all the information that's coming from outside? That's where the overwhelm comes, right? How do I navigate all of this? And then when you can start building that relationship back, then you can really start to, throughout the day, just check in a little bit. Where am I right now? Where's my mind? How does my body feel? Where am I holding stress and tension? How is my breathing? Am I worried about things coming up, or am I dwelling on things that perhaps didn't go so well in the past? Or can I bring my mind right back here now? And you mentioned like being productive, right? And being efficient and really creating and inspirational. It's very hard to do that when your mind is either ahead of you or behind you. The only way to do that is to bring it back right here, right now. So that's kind of my biggest tip that I give people is throughout the day, check in with your body. So how do you do that? It sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we do that? One of the most simplest things, just put your hands on your body and just check in with yourself. Just close your eyes for 10 seconds even, and you can get a really good sense of where you're at. Where's my breathing? How do I feel tension in my body? What's my mind focusing on right now? And then before you know it, okay, this is what's going on. And then what can I do to solve this, or to move forwards, or to release whatever that is that I'm kind of stuck on? So we have
Mm.
many different techniques, but that's kind of the one guiding principle, Sandy, that I would recommend.
Awesome. Well, let me jump in there because that you just gave
Yeah,
us a lot. That was like a big chunk of amazing information. So let's go back and break it down. So essentially what
yeah,
you're saying is we rely on the external world to tell us what the world and all the people in it with lots of opinions think that we should do to be well. But what you're
yes.
saying is that the best resource for us to determine what we need to do be well is our own body. So
Mm,
that was number one. And then number two, you said, is just take a few seconds here and there to close your eyes, put your hand on your body, and just sense how your body is feeling, right? So how are you breathing? Where do you feel pain or discomfort? What's uncomfortable? Where are you holding stress? Okay, great. So let me ask you a quick question here.
yeah,
One of the things I notice in my body is I ignore it,
yes,
right? I mean, so I'll feel
right.
pain, I'll feel tension, my shoulders, my neck gets sore all the time from being in front of the computer, or
Right.
I don't feel good after a meal, I feel tired or this. So why is it that we sort of go unconscious and we just sort of set that aside and just keep on
Mm,
sprinting forward and we don't pay attention to that?
yeah, isn't that interesting, right? I think what you say, Sandy, so many people can relate to that. And you can do that for a certain amount of time, right? You can kind of keep going, keep going. But at one point or other, things start shouting a little bit louder and we have to pay attention. But the reason why I believe, this is my opinion, is that, society gives us so many messages that multitasking, pushing through, even the message of kind of resilience, right? That can be kind of even skewed to just keep going no matter what kind of message. And so what that creates is actually it creates a lot of disconnection within us,
Mm,
right?
mm,
We don't allow ourselves time for reflection, connection to ourselves, connection to our environment, all those things that kind of ground us and center us. I think they're so important. So that's what I believe, is that society keeps feeding these messages, and the way that our, whether it be our working life or different aspects of our life is structured, they keep telling us, just keep going, keep going, keep going. And then this just becomes our norm. So we kind of have to relearn a different way.
Mm. Mm-hmm. All right, so then let's say wake up in the morning and I'm taking a couple of minutes to prepare myself for the day. What's one quick thing I could do right at the beginning of the day to sort of bring myself back into my body and sort of set the tone for the day to really take care of myself rather than take care of all the things around me?
Right. Yeah, that's a really great question. And I think it's such an important thing is to really set the tone for your day as well. So, one thing that I recommend, even before you get out of bed, before you do anything, I recommend just stretch a little bit. Just stretch a little bit. Come into the feeling of your body. So, your body kind of naturally does that as you wake up anyway, but you can make it a little bit more intentional. Really stretch and move and open your body. Take some deep breaths and really open your chest. And then just close your eyes for a moment and just focus, what kind of day do I want to create today?
Mm,
And then you can bring into your mind, okay, today I want to create this. Not what do I have to do, but what do I want to create?
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's such a fabulous distinction, isn't it? Because
isn't it?
usually first thing in the morning is like, oh, what do I have to do? What time are my meetings? Where do I have to be? Where do I have to go? And it's rare, I think, anyway, for me to start my day with, okay, what do I want to create today? What's my intention? And when you set your intention and you ask those great guiding questions, then that's typically how your day unfolds, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of our big principles here too is if you don't put your mind on a goal or a vision or a purpose, your mind doesn't know where to go. It's just going
Yeah.
to leave you left, right, and center, right? And then you're like the hamster in the wheel, just going, 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 but not heading anywhere. So
Yeah.
we have to be the ones kind of responsible for that.
Yeah, I love to talk about that, how to be at cause, C-A-U-S-E, rather than at effect. And I think in our world, it's very easy to be at effect, to have all our influences and in our environment control us rather than us control our environment and our outcomes. And then that leads to feeling disgruntled or impatient or angry or unfulfilled or stressed, right? All of those things.
All of the above. Check, check, check.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is the one thing that everyone should do each day to help their sense of well being? Was it that tip that you shared about getting up in the morning, or is there something else you could share with
Mm.
us?
Actually, I think there's two things that I could share. I think
Great.
the morning routine is really important, right? Really set your mind straight for the day. But then what do you do at the end of the day?
Mm,
So when most people come home, they're kind of done, right? I'm done. I've done the things. I've done all the things. However, do you ever reflect on the day? Did I achieve the things I wanted to achieve? If I did, then how can I move forward from there? If I didn't, then what areas can I perhaps look at for next time and really see, well, what's really going on here? And then also release the stress and tension from the day as well. So in the evening, our temptation, our mind kind of tells us, just switch off, you've done enough, it's okay, just go to sleep, right? But what a lot of people suffer from is they lie down, and then as soon as they lie down, close their eyes, their mind is everywhere, right? Everything pops up in their mind, all the things that they didn't do, all the things that they should have done, all the things they need to do tomorrow. So take that little bit of time at the end of the day, reflect on the day so that it's out of your mind. Like, do you remember Harry Potter? He had that memory thing, right? Would draw the memories out. That's what I always imagine. Let's take all of that out, put it down somewhere, let it be. Let me focus on my body again. All the things that build up every day, they do every day. Let's release them a little bit. Something as simple as tapping your body, Sandy. I know that you've had
I
experience
love
with that.
Oh, it's my favorite thing to do. So tell us why that's so effective.
Right. So tapping is a really ancient, actually, Eastern healing practice. And the principle behind it is we have this whole energy system, all these acupressure points through our body. And the way I describe your acupressure points, actually the meridian lines, so we have these kind of channels that run through. If you can imagine like a garden hose and you have a blockage in the garden hose, right?
Mm.
Behind the hose, all the pressure builds up. And on the other side, nothing's flowing out. And so this is kind of what happens in your body. So you probably know, I'm sure if I ask you, Sandy, where you commonly feel tension, right? You can identify, yeah, shoulders, neck, maybe chest, maybe lower back. These are very common areas. So this is what happens during the day. All our thoughts and emotions create these, I call them energetic blockages in our bodies. And then nothing's flowing right. It just feels kind of stuck and stagnant and heavy. And we might feel tired, but actually it's not from using our physical body. There, unless you have a really physical job, you're not using your physical energy, right? It's more this mental fatigue. So
Right.
how do we release that? And tapping is one of those great methods. So as you tap,
I'm going to tap
imagine
with
like
you.
a jackhammer, right? Breaking up concrete. You
Yeah.
don't just lift up a slab of concrete, right? You have to break it up. That's how you get rid of
Right.
it. So the tapping's exactly the same. So areas like your chest, and you can just breathe deeply.
Oh, it feels better already.
Yeah, you can feel it, right? And then try this one. So if you're a person that thinks a lot and has a lot of problems to solve and kind of very analytical job, tapping around this temple area here, and then just breathing out. You can do this anytime during the day, right? Just 30 seconds just to kind of realign yourself, refocus, breathe
Oh, it
out,
feels
release
so
the
good.
tension. Yeah. Another one too, a lot of people, the jaw. So
Mm.
right under the ears here, just tapping. And just breathing out. It seems so simple, right?
Right. I think
And it
sometimes we
really
reach
is.
for the complex, expensive things because we think those
Right.
will work best.
Right. We get sold so
Right.
easily, right? On all the expensive
Right.
things. Yeah. And then just stop and just feel the changes in your body. Just take a couple of deep breaths in and out. And then when you open your eyes, guess what?
Feels so
I
much
can keep
better.
going,
I
right?
know it's so ironic, isn't it?
Yeah.
And my favorite body and brain yoga class is the Friday class with you, where we tap for 10, 15, 20 minutes
Right.
all over our body. And afterwards, you just feel a sense, your mind stops,
Yeah.
which is incredible relief. And then you feel the whole body is sort of tingling because things are moving as opposed to being like this stuck in the body. I think that's
Right.
absolutely brilliant. Thank you so much for reminding me. And what a great way. So I'll share something. One of the most important things I learned from Body and Brain is at the end of the day to release the stress from not just my mind, my body. So I do switch off at night. I'll be like, oh, I love HGTV home makeovers. So I'll watch like a home makeover show. And then I used to just go straight, get ready and then bath and whatever and go to bed. But now what I do pretty regularly, I would say 3 to 5 times a week, is I will just lay down on the floor and do a little bit of stretching or a little bit of rolling or whatever it is,
Mhm.
just to get the stress out of my body. And then I find when I lay down to go to sleep, I go to sleep much better, ease quicker, and I sleep much better because I'm not holding all that stuff in my body, let alone holding all that stuff in my mind. And the two of them together, oh my gosh, they can be very noisy all night long, right?
Right, 100%. Yeah. So actually, Sandy, when I hear you describe your experience there, I think it's really important for people to understand that a lot of the tension, I'm gonna throw a percentage out there. 98% of the tension in your body is created by your thinking brain,
Mm.
right? Unless you have injuries or you've had an accident or something like that, 98%, I'm going to say, let's throw it out there. Why not? 98% of the stress and tension you feel in your body comes from your thoughts and emotions and all the things that you create in your brain during the day.
Mm.
So, why do you want to take that to go to sleep? Let's try and
Wow.
release it, right? And
Yeah.
then actually that's when your body does its most healing. So let's give it the best chance. So let release all of that, make it fresh, and then your body can rest well, really go back to how it should be. Your body's amazing. It'll do what it needs to do if you give it the opportunity.
I love that. 98% of the stress and tension in your body is created by your thoughts and emotions. Amazing.
Mm.
All right, let's take one more question and then we'll wrap up. So I know you've been on a big discovery, a big journey to well-being, and you've done a lot. You're always doing learning and outreach, and I'm sure, you know, you've upgraded your well-being a lot over the years. I'm sure you continue to do that. So what was your personal biggest discovery on your journey to well-being?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that question. Thank you, Sandy. So if you'd seen me, I've been with Body and Brain in this practice now for about, I'm going to say 6.5 years, something like that. And if you'd seen me before that time in my like 20s and 30s, I was a completely different person. I looked completely different. My energy was different. My emotions, my mood was completely different. I was really, I actually suffered from depression for quite a long time. And also underneath of that, I had a lot of anxiety. So I didn't even notice the anxiety because the depression was pretty strong. So for me, it wasn't so much the physical body, it was more the emotional or mental state that I really wanted to work on and improve. So Body and Brain really helped me understand the connection between my mind and my body. And then it really helped me see that my thoughts and my emotions, they are not my identity.
Mm,
So I would say, oh, I'm depressed, I'm this kind of person, I'm that kind of person. But Body and Brain's practice really helped me understand that no, actually, that was just kind of existing inside of me, but it didn't make me a certain type of person or a certain way. And then actually, I have the power to change that.
mm,
Yeah.
mm,
All of these emotions, they're just energies. I always describe them, they're like the weather, right? Clouds come and they go. So I don't have to be attached to any one thing. So it's tempting when we feel emotion to kind of hold on to the emotion, right? And let it just kind of drag us wherever we want. So if I feel sad, oh, I'm going to kind of follow the sadness. Or even if I feel joy, I'm going to follow the joy, right? They're actually kind of the same. But through the meditation side, the mindfulness aspects of body and brain, I really saw that I could separate myself from my thoughts and emotions. I didn't have to be so attached to them. I didn't have to make them part of my identity. And that was like mind blowing to me that, wait a minute, I had a choice whether or not I followed my thoughts. Like this was really new to me. It sounds so simple now when I say it, but it was like revolutionary at the time. And then you start to see all the things that you just follow with your mind. And it really is kind of surprising if you start being the observer of all of that.
mm.
So that would be the biggest thing that really has helped my well-being, is being able to step away from my thoughts and emotions, be the observer of them. I don't have to follow them. I don't have to hold on to them. I can just see them, acknowledge them for what they are, and just let them drift away like the clouds. And then here I am again, right? Next one comes, same thing. It's okay. So it's really powerful. And that has made not only my individual well being, but my relationships with my family, the way that I parent my children, uh, my friendships, my business relationships, my courage, my confidence, my self esteem. All of that has changed just by simply making a shift in my brain. Yeah,
Wow,
so
beautiful.
powerful.
What a great story. Thank you so much for sharing. And there's so much wisdom in that, isn't it? It's just
Mm,
be a little bit detached from what we're thinking or what we're feeling, gives us incredible freedom, right?
Right.
And not sort of getting sucked up into it and going down pathways that just create stress and tension and pain and disease and all
Right.
kinds of negative things. I love that.
Well,
Cherie,
Sandy, oh, sorry. I
yeah,
wanted to add one quick thing, if you don't
sure.
mind, but I really encourage people just to kind of think for a moment, right? When you have a challenging situation at work, or, a colleague who's kind of pushing the buttons, we tend to follow that kind of energy, right? We kind of
Mm,
butt up against it. So that's the perfect time to kind of
mm,
step back, right? And see, well, wait a minute, am I following their energy and emotions? Or am I the one in control here?
mm.
So that can be really just that simple little pause before any kind of reaction can be like a game changer.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for bringing the example of work because sometimes it's easier when we have a specific example like that. And I think we can all relate to in a work situation, having our button pushed or being triggered by somebody's negative behavior. And then how often do we just get dragged down that road for days, hours, months, maybe years? Yeah,
Right.
that's beautiful. So I love all the wisdom that you shared with us today. It's so valuable. How do people find you? How do they find a body and brain yoga um, a location? And if they can't
Right.
find a body and brain yoga location, then what do they do if they want to learn more, if they want to practice some of these techniques?
Yeah, thank you, Sandy. Yeah, absolutely. Well, Body and Brain, we have over 100 centers throughout the US. So I'm here in Texas, but whether you're in different states, if you just search the website, so body n, the letter n, brain.com, you can see all of our locations. But even if you're not near a location, we're doing a lot of classes online, a lot of private coaching online, a lot of private sessions as well. And then I know people are really burnt out with online. Like, I totally get it. Zoom meetings are like up to here. However, don't let it be an obstacle to taking the first step to your well-being.
Mm,
Yeah. And then if you are happen to be local around kind of the Houston area, we have 6 different centers around Houston. So there should be one kind of relatively close to you, and then just call them. We do a one-on-one introductory session. That's the best place to start. So especially if you don't even really know what you're looking for, but you know you want to kind of take the first step towards something, then come on in, and then we'll meet with you, and then we can kind of see your condition and then help you really understand, well, where do I need to put my energy and focus? Like we started this conversation, right, Sandy? There's
mm.
so many things that I can do, but where should I start? And then that's really a great option to do the one-on-one introductory session.
Wonderful. Love that. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. This was such a joy. And thanks for
Oh,
having me tap in the middle of the afternoon. Usually I wait, until Friday or a
right.
specific day when I do it. So it's such a great reminder for me while I'm on a Zoom meeting, if I'm not on camera or even if I am on camera, just to do a little bit of tapping. It's so
Yeah,
helpful. Thanks, Cherie. So
wonderful.
grateful. Thanks a
Yeah,
lot.
it's been
Anything?
so lovely. It's such a
Yeah.
pleasure. It's such a great conversation too, and I hope that people find it useful.
Yes, me too. Thanks a lot.